John, good to see you. We're going to start with an important question. When should you start taking money out of your 401k? A 401k, one of the most powerful retirement savings tools available, but if you take the money out too early, you could face penalties, wait too long, and RMDs could push you into a higher tax bracket. So let's start with the basics. For the most part, employees tend to save in those tax-deferred 401ks. Why is that important?
Yeah, it's nice. Sometimes, when you're a younger couple or you're just buying your first home, you have a lot of kids in the house, and you're trying to watch your pennies. A good thing to do is sometimes defer some of your income inside that 401k, and you do it for multiple reasons. You do it because sometimes your employer gives you a match, right? So if you don't take that match, you're ultimately giving your employer back some money. So really, what that does is it allows you to defer some of that income, save a little bit on your taxes, and get that match from your work.
hmm Okay, now let's talk about taking the money out too early, which is before 59 and a half. If you tap your 401k, then just explain what you're giving up.
Yes, this is a really important one. Is that you're giving up a 10% penalty. So
Yeah.
you have to pay your ordinary income taxes. So you're paying taxes just like you would off your with your paychecks at work. But also you're also going to have an additional 10% penalty because the government really is letting you defer that money because the government knows it's important to have you have savings, and that's them encouraging you to keep that money in there until after 50 and a half, so that way it's there for when you go to retire.
hmm And once you are 59 and a half, how are the withdrawals taxed and how can those distributions affect your tax bracket?
Correct. It's just like if you're getting a paycheck from your at work, that's going to come out as ordinary income. And really, where that comes into play is when you start drawing from Social Security and maybe you have a pension, all those things start adding up. It's just important to be able to control your income at times as you approach retirement and you start drawing from these 401ks.
hmm
That way, you don't push yourself up into another tax bracket. And if you can manage that along with your Social Security, it can be a pretty nice, powerful way to go.
hmm So you're allowed to tap at 59 and a half. If you don't have a plan, though, the government has one for you. Explain RMDs and what they are and when they start.
Correct. They've allowed you to defer that tax all these years, and again, you've made returns on that tax, those tax dollars inside there, so it has been a positive. But when you start to hit certain ages and they base it off your birthday, you need to start taking withdrawals out. Sometimes it's 73, it can go actually up to 75. This has evolved quite a bit here over the last, I don't know, 5 years or so. But the government says, hey, you deferred all this money all these years. I think it's time for you to start drawing some of that out. And then that is what you need to start to do. And it's very important to do so because if you don't and you miss that required minimum distribution is a 25% tax penalty.
Right. So, for retirees who want to make their savings last, what strategies can help them decide how much to withdraw from their 401k each year? Because it is a delicate balance. You let the money grow, you have a bigger nest egg, but also a bigger tax burden.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, everybody has their own feel for this. I have some clients who said, I'm going to spend every last dime of my 401k. I have some people who really have no plans to draw except for what the government does in RMDs, and they plan to leave it to their children. And so, really, you got to do is find that delicate balance. It usually starts with, is your home paid off? What is your cash flow, really? And that's really where you start. Your cash flow, if you have to make up that difference using the 401k, then that is when you need to start taking the draws. But beyond that, you sit down with your financial advisor and you sit there and go, do I need the money? And do I want to spend the money? I have some people who want it monthly. I have some people who prefer to just once in a while take a bigger draw of their 401k to
Mm,
go take a vacation with their family. So really, it's really got to be a customized answer on that one.
right. No cookie cutter answers here. Well, John, that being said, if somebody would like to sit down with you, come up with some strategies for how they will take distributions from their 401k, what's the best way to reach you?
440-471-4300 is the best way to get a hold of us. We also have clarkwealthadvisor.com that you can go to, and there's a link there to be able to email us. So there's a lot of different ways to get a hold of us. We're on social media as well. Just reach out and we'll get you on the calendar. We'll go from there.
Great. John, thank you.
Appreciate you.